Joining us now, NBC's chief foreign correspondent, Richard Engel in Tel Aviv, Colin Clarke, director of policy and research at the Soufan Group, and retired four-star General Barry McCaffrey. Richard, is it even possible, do you think, to get a pause in the fighting at this point? What is it that could happen to get to that point?
Certainly you could get to a pause. You'd have to do is stop fighting, or at least for a little while. The issue is how long the pause would last. Is it just going to be a pause or something more? The Israeli government is talking about a pause, and there was a statement from the president of Israel saying that Israel supports a ceasefire that involves a truce leading to the release of more hostages, and said the ball is in the hands of Yahya Sinwar, the Hamas leader of the Gaza Strip. Hamas, however, insists that in order for a deal to happen, it can't be just a pause. It has to be a full-blown ceasefire, an end of the conflict, at least for the time being. So there are negotiations. These are the most serious negotiations we've had thus far, and there is pressure on both sides. There's pressure militarily on Hamas, pressure on Hamas from the negotiators, and there's also pressure on the Israeli government, internationally and internally. You played that clip from the Strong interview by Hallie. And I spoke earlier today with the family of another hostage, the elderly man in the video that you alluded to earlier, the video that was released by Hamas a short while ago. And he was just as furious at Prime Minister Netanyahu, naming him individually, saying that Netanyahu is playing politics, that he's continuing this war in order to placate the extreme right in this country and to cover up the failures of October 7th and the response to October 7th. So there is a movement here that is pressuring the government, but it is still relatively small. Opinion polls suggest that overwhelmingly Israelis do support the war on Hamas. Whether there is a pause or not, it does not seem like it will be more than a pause, even if we do come to that stage.
Yeah, and I mean, General, just thinking about that father that Hallie interviewed, how he, speaks of his son and what happened to him. I spoke with an IDF spokesperson yesterday here on MSNBC about those three hostages who were killed, saying, he said, this is a tragedy on the battlefield and in the fog of war. Listen to what he had to say about that.
As I said, a tragedy that we have obviously come forward and announced to the Israeli public and to the families of the fallen, of Yotam, of Samer, and then of Alon. And indeed, this is something that we need to learn our lessons in order to make sure that the forces on the ground have the tools in order to prevent this from happening again.
Just wondering, General, I mean, it's so, look, war is hell always, and people die as part of war. But this specific thing, when you had these three gentlemen that no shirts, they put an SOS sign in Hebrew, they were speaking in Hebrew, and yet they were still shot and killed by the IDF. General, how do you think something like this happens? In other words, how do you see this?
Well, that interview with the father was exceptionally touching, and you got to feel his anger and his sadness of losing his boy so close to freedom. One of the three hostages apparently was an Israeli Special Forces soldier, so they had escaped, apparently, Hamas custody, and it would have been a triumph had they been able to gain safety. But look, these are teenage soldiers in combat. They're scared. You have to have lightning-quick reflexes and urban contact. People are shooting at you from high rises. They're shooting at you from ground level. They're coming out of tunnels. If you're slow, you're dead. So it's sort of understandable. There's got to be a pause to get more of these hostages back. It's going to be extremely hard, almost unlikely that many will ever get released just by military power. On the other hand, Hamas isn't going to agree to a truce unless the IDF eases up on their pressure. There's 4 Israeli divisions now fighting in Gaza. The paratroop unit is in the south. They've got Hamas back to the wall. They're desperate. They're underground. They're running out of ammunition. The bombardment of Israel is not what it was 5 weeks ago. We just got to understand the disaster that has engulfed the region caused by the 7 October massacre, murder, torture, and rape of Israeli innocent civilians.
Yeah, and Colin, do you see anything going forward that could precipitate or help in a pause?
I do think the entire incident, as tragic as it was, is an impetus for renewed diplomacy for the United States, the Egyptians, the Qataris, and others that have been involved to make this the issue, right, on the table. We know that intelligence chiefs have been meeting toward this end, and we're hoping to see some progress in the coming days before Christmas.